Welcome to Quiet Horror. Tonight's story is called The Dancer. I met Megan in my second year of university. We were in the same literature class, and she started sitting next to me one day and just never stopped. She was a ballet dancer. She said she trained since she was 4. There was something about her that was a little too intense. I didn't dislike her, but I never felt really comfortable around her. Unfortunately, she attached herself to me for some reason. She would text me throughout the day, show up at the cafe I liked, and saved me seats without being asked. Before long, she claimed that we were best friends. I was never rude to her. I just tried to keep a certain distance, but she kept closing it. The thing she said most often was that we were going to be together forever. It wasn't a question, but a statement. She sounded so sure about it that it made me feel uncomfortable. She said it with a sweet smile, but for some reason, it always sounded threatening to me. And she'd always blow me a kiss whenever we said goodbye. It made me feel awkward. I never knew how to respond. Then, she died suddenly in the spring of our 3rd year. It was a freak accident. She slipped on wet stairs outside the art building and hit her head. She was gone before the ambulance arrived. I found out about it through a group chat and sat with the news for a long time before I felt anything. At her funeral, her mother held my hands and told me that Megan talked about me all the time. She said I was Megan's closest friend. I smiled and said she was a wonderful person because I didn't know what else to say. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I felt a little relieved. She always managed to make me feel uneasy, and now I was free. But then the dreams started. It was the same nightmare every time. In it, I would see Megan standing in my kitchen at night, wearing her ballet outfit, her hair pulled back. She wouldn't say much. Instead, she would do a long ballet dance for me. Afterward, she would just look at me with the same intense expression and say quietly, "I told you we'll always be together." I would wake up unsettled because it felt so real, but I kept telling myself it was just a dream. The problem was, it wouldn't stop. It continued every single night, always in my kitchen, always the same ballet routine. I watched it so many times that I ended up memorizing it. And I started noticing things when I was awake too. A feeling of being watched in empty rooms, waking up exhausted no matter how much I slept. Sometimes, just being in my own kitchen made me feel overwhelmed and terrified, like someone was standing just behind me. I felt like I was losing my mind, but there was nothing I could do. Then one day, I got a notification that my pet cam storage was full. I set up a camera in the kitchen months ago to keep an eye on my cat during the day when I was out. It records whenever there's movement, so there was always a backlog to clear out. I never bothered checking the nighttime clips because I assumed it was just my cat wandering around or maybe me getting up to use the bathroom. But before I started deleting, I noticed something. The nighttime recording from the past few weeks were massive. There were hours of footage, night after night, which didn't make any sense. My cat mostly slept through the night, so she had never triggered that much footage before. I clicked on the oldest one. The timestamp showed 2 a.m. For a second, the kitchen on the screen just sat there, empty, lit only by the stove light. Then, I walked into frame. It was me, my pajamas, my hair, my own kitchen. I watched myself stop in the center of the room, stand there, and then slowly begin to dance. In the video, I was dancing ballet. My back was straight, my arms precise. There was no hesitation in my movement. But the problem was, I've never danced ballet in my life. And I recognized the choreography instantly. It was the same routine Megan had been dancing for me every night in my dreams. My hands were shaking so badly, but I kept watching. I fast-forwarded through the footage, staring at myself on screen, dancing alone in the dark. It was me, but it wasn't me. Then, near the end of the clip, she stopped. On the screen, I turned slowly towards the camera. I stood completely still, looking directly into the lens. Then, I watched myself raise my hand slowly to my lips. And on the screen, I saw myself blow a kiss at the camera. There was no doubt that the person in the footage was me. It was my body. It was my face. But this definitely wasn't me. If this story stayed with you, there's more waiting. Subscribe to Quiet Horror.